Hi, my name is Marty Plecki, P-L-E-C-K-I. I like to work on things when they come up, especially if they interest me. Well, this one really doesn't interest me, but I have no choice. This little freezer stopped working, and I'm just going to take a look at it and see why. So my wife and I put it up on this recycle container just so I wouldn't have to bend over to look at it. This is the insides of it. It was working perfectly until it didn't. And some of the stuff kind of defrosted. But when I turned this dial over to a higher, a colder setting, it turned back on. So I'm thinking that it may be just a contact in this control, that if I clean it up, it'll run for years again. So I'm going to vacuum out this place so I don't have to work through dirt, and we'll see what the switch says. I vacuumed all the dust off of this, and I'm looking at the lines. I don't see any corrosion, and you can feel too if there's corrosion anywhere. Because a coolant can leak out if the tubes are really corroded bad. And even on these small ones, I don't see any corrosion, much less corrosion that would leak out freon. They all look pretty good. I was very careful not to kink anything while I was running the vacuum hose in there. So this is the starting capacitor for this compressor and motor. And there's the container for the switch, and I'll loosen that and see what's inside. This is the thermostat. This is the hot side of the power in. And when this switch gets activated, it makes contacts connect here and put power to this side. And that turns on the compressor. So I've got this meter hooked up to continuity, and just to show you, you'll hear the buzzer when I touch the red probe with the black. So I'm putting this probe on the output here, and I'm going to rotate the switch. So it's on, now it's off. On, and you can hear the click of the switch too. Well, I've actuated this thing more than 50 times. Once or twice it didn't work. So I really should replace this thing, but I've actuated it another 20 or 30 times since, and it's worked every time. I'm conflicted about replacing it because this is an WPF30B, and I went online and I haven't found a 30B. I found all kind of WPF20s or 22s, and they have varying lengths of the capillary tube here. So, and since it hasn't been intermittent since, I'm thinking about just putting it back. We'll see. I took the thermostat out in order to measure the probe length, and it's 24 inches, plus or minus maybe a quarter of an inch. And I did that in order to be able to replace this with a new one if this guy eventually fails again. Taking this apart, this part, is really risky if you think you might want to use it still, because there's really strong springs in there, and springs are really hard to get back where they originally came from. So I started to take this off, and I got it mostly off, except that right here is a screw for adjusting. And that would not let me take the contacts out, because I would have looked at those and maybe cleaned them up. Right inside this tube is where that probe goes. I'm going to put some silicone dielectric grease on the end of this thing, and all along the length, just to make it slide in easier. It's put back together now, and it's still working like it's supposed to. It would cool down to whatever the set temperature was. It would turn off, and when it warmed up to where it should turn on again, it would not turn on again. So I ordered a new one and got it today. Here it is. And I ordered one that was 21 inches long, the probe part, but they sent me one that's 4.5 feet long. Honest to God. I think it'll work, and I'll just coil up the X. So I got the screws out, and now I'm just going to take this panel off and remove the old one. I've got to take the screw out back there and the screw out back there. Take this back panel off. Right in there is the back of that little knob. I'm going to use a flat-bladed screwdriver to push it out. And there's a nut down there, which I'll take out to get this little thermostat out. I'm going to use the screwdriver to pop the connectors off. So there's where the probe goes, and I'm just going to maneuver this out. And put the new one in. You have to be careful not to kink this tube, because that would also make it unfunctional. That's about it. So this probe is coming out of the wrong side, or the other side, but I still don't think that that's going to be a problem. I'll just bend it over here and have it match up with this one, because this is where it goes into that white case that was in the back. So I have to get that kind of bent over there, and then I'll coil up the rest of this stuff on the outside of that white cover. Here it is in the tube. The probe is coiled up, and the switch is in the right orientation. All right, let's put the ground wire on. Put the back wire on. And this one. Now I'm going to stick the nut on. It's back in place now with the The coil's a little bit nicer coiled up, I suppose. No kinks. The one thing that it's kind of a fly in the ointment was the tab right on the end is 90 degrees out of location for the old one. So when it's pointing to 2 here, when that dial is pointing to 2, it's off. It's a small inconvenience, and you never look at that anyway once you got it set where you want it. But I'll make a little note that this is off now, and that should be enough. So I'm going to put the panel back on and try it out. If you got something out of this video, and I hope you did, it would be great if you hit the like button. Only about 1 to 5% of the people that look at videos hit the like button. It's a shame because the folks that put these videos together, do their best mostly. Anyway, hit the like button, hit the bell icon if you want to know when I make a new video, and it'd really be great if you subscribe. The power light's on. The compressor running light is on. I've got it set for about the right temperature, and it's been going for about 5 minutes now, so far so good. This freezer is working just fine now. The new thermostat is calibrated slightly different than the old one. So I've only got it up to about 2 here because it's about at 0. Yeah. 10 above, but it's still on. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.